Well, Jalen looks pretty comfortable getting carried by two 350-pound guys for 7 yards. I mean, the other night it was like some of them, they're just picking him up and moving him. Listen, like the NFL, it's funny to me because they're all about optics. And, like I think at one point the sentiment was almost only you can run it. It's unfair. Other teams tried to run it. They've had issues with it. The Giants got a couple guys hurt doing it. That's the twisting of the knife in division. They're trying to copy the team at the top of the division. You get guys hurt doing it. But I think now they've pivoted to player safety and the way that it looks, which to me is funny. It's an inherently dangerous game. I know it probably feels like that scene in Star Wars where they're in the trash compactor in there. I think that's what Jason Kelsey feels like Chewbacca in there. But I think overall it's effective. You haven't made a rule to stop it. I think this team does it the best, so it's not some like concern about more teams doing it. And if you don't like it, stop it. Draft bigger guys. The Eagles running it looks totally different than the Niners running it or some other team. And I think people are just mad. At Philly, nobody likes us. We don't care.
How would you defend that if you were on the defensive line?
Not getting to third and fourth and short. you know, that's the whole thing because it's like that drive at the end of the game where they had to put Miami away with 9:45 to go in that game. They probably ran tush push 3-4 times. And we were talking on our podcast about this, me and my brother. I was like, do you think if they ran it 4 times consistently, they'd get a first down? And honestly, I'm not sure that they couldn't. Super thankful that Ryan Clark called me. Him being the host of this thing meant a lot to me that he would hit me up and say, hey, you're one of the guys I want on this show. And I just took it as a challenge. I'm not much of a TV guy. I've been doing my podcast out of my hometown for 4 years, but big opportunity and awesome guys on the panel there with Ocho, with Channing, with Jay. Just the right mix of personalities, and a lot of great inside footage that obviously comes with having the NFL hookup.
Anything special the viewers should watch? I know the show premieres on Tuesday, so today, anything special in this episode?
Well, as a former Eagle, I love the B-roll of Sunday night. Hearing Jalen Hurts go back and forth through the ups and downs of that game and just be steady. I mean, even after he threw that pick, which would have sent a lot of other guys in the tank, getting on the bench and rallying his guys and saying, we're going to go down there and win this game, and doing just that. So I think, watching Jalen Hurts and those Kelly Greens with that atmosphere gave me chills even on set.
You mentioned first, crack at television. You've been doing podcasts. You've spent time with your brother, but your dad's been doing this a long time. Is he like an inspiration? Have you watched him throughout his career? Because he's been doing this since you were a little kid.
It's funny because I watched him a lot as a kid, and then I watched him in college because we'd had Sundays off. But for most of my career, if not all of it, I didn't see his show that much. And now prepping like crazy on a Sunday, I'm not really watching, but it's because I'm not worried about him. The guy is just the consummate pro, and I think with all the bodies changing over the years there, he's been one of the common threads, and he works so well with anybody. I mean, he's just a team player. He studies his butt off. He's somebody that, I definitely in football, having him in my corner helped. He could always tell me, what to think after a game, how I really played, like having that honest feedback. And now in broadcasting, especially in TV, because the podcasting, he's like, bro, I can't do what you do. And now getting to go do this thing at a desk with other guys every week, it helps to get that text and be like, hey, you settled in here. I liked what you did here. And it's great to have a best friend like that.
Did you happen to catch him and Terry last night on Jimmy Kimmel?
So I heard it was good, and I think a long-awaited reunion between those guys. I think, Joe and Troy were alluding to it, but I think in the beginning, Dad didn't get Jimmy's shtick, and my dad's more of a straight man, and there might have been some friction there, but they, to their credit, they've become really cool, and it was cool to see them on that stage. But I'd love to catch that.
They told the story, and they've been doing this 30 years, so they're literally like brothers at this point. I think it was a Notre Dame LSU bowl game in Louisiana, and your dad gets a call up to the hotel room that Terry's got you and your brother drunk down there. True or false?
That's true. I mean, I don't know how drunk I was, but Terry was drunk. And I think Terry's great. He's like an uncle to me, and he's the most fun when you get him with a glass of whiskey, and you're sitting at the hotel bar, just listening to him tell stories. So I've spent a lot of time around those guys, and Jimmy, Heineken worked for him. And Stray, I think he's too busy to drink. So I don't know if we've had a drink, but they're great people. They're the type of people that you want to get a beer with. And I think that's what makes that show great, because you feel like you're sitting in your living room with people that you know.